Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me this Saturday. I'm Fredricka Whitfield. New details on the immigration raid at the sprawling Hyundai plant in southeast Georgia. The months-long federal operation led to 475 arrests. Most were Korean nationals. Workers at the plant describe a chaotic scene as officers spread across the property. The Georgia raid is being characterized by authorities as the largest sweep of the Trump administration's immigration crackdown. President Trump reacted to news of the raid yesterday in the Oval Office.
Are you concerned at all about, your immigration agenda potentially clashing with these economic goals?
Well, we want to get along with other countries, and we want to have a great, stable workforce. And we had, as I understand it, a lot of illegal aliens, some not the best of people, but we had a lot of illegal aliens working there. So, look, they're doing their job. That's what they have to do. These are people that came through with Biden. They came through illegally. They came into our country, so we have to do our job.
CNN's Rafael Romo is here and joins me with more on this investigation. It involved intelligence from several agencies, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was huge. And also, it's not only about the raid itself, but the message it sends. Part of what you were talking at the beginning. This was one of the largest immigration raids in U.S. history at a sprawling manufacturing plant touted as great investment by state officials in a Republican-led state that immigration authorities say was part of a months-long investigation. What we know is that state troopers, Fred, blocked roads leading to the plant and set up a security perimeter, setting the stage for nearly 500 federal, state, and local officers to conduct the raid at the Hyundai plant located in a quiet southeast Georgia community. By the time they were done at 8 p.m. on Thursday, agents had arrested 475 people, most of them Korean nationals, making it the largest sweep yet in the current Trump administration's immigration crackdown at American job sites. A Homeland Security Investigations special agent in charge said this was not a random operation.
This was not a immigration operation where agents went into the premises, rounded up folks, and put them on buses. This has been a multi-month criminal investigation where we have developed evidence, conducted interviews, gathered documents, and presented that evidence to the court in order to obtain a judicial search warrant.
In a statement sent to CNN on Friday, Hyundai said the company was aware of what they described as an incident, adding that they were closely monitoring the situation. As of today, the statement goes on to say, it is our understanding that we prioritize the safety and well-being of everyone working at the site and comply with all laws and regulations wherever we operate. In an interview with CNN, former Deputy Homeland Security Secretary under President Trump said that this type of immigration enforcement operation sends a clear message to employers across America.
This is becoming much more common in this administration, and so employers who have never had to worry about this before now know their own butt is on the line if they're going to break these laws.
ICE and Homeland Security Investigations agents were supported by the Georgia Department of Public Safety as well as the Department of Labor's Office of Inspector General, the FBI, DEA, U.S. Customs and Border Protection, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, the ATF, the IRS, Fred, and the Georgia State Patrol also participated in the raid, which tells you a lot about the size of the operation and what the agents wanted to show, that show of force that they wanted to get all these people detained.
Yeah, pretty significant. Do we know after the arrest where people are?
They are not disclosing yet. What we know from an immigration attorney is that two of his clients were detained. They had come to the United States on a 90-day visa. So technically they didn't have a permit to work, but the details are barely surfacing. But those two cases by themselves gives us an idea of who these people were and how they came into the country.
All right, Rafael Romo, thanks so much. Let us know when you know more.
Of course.
Appreciate it. All right, the massive ICE raid prompted a sharp response from the South Korean president, telling Korean officials here in the U.S. to take all-out necessary measures to support Korean nationals. CNN's Mike Valerio is in Seoul with more on the reaction there.
Well, the headline from here is certainly that South Korea's president, Lee Jae-myung, is getting involved in this matter, telling his officials that, quote, all out necessary measures should be done to support Korean nationals in this matter and to resolve it as fast as possible. Now, the split screen from where he was just about 10 days ago is certainly dramatic, considering that he was at the Oval Office meeting with President Trump, talking about new investments that South Korea would make into a reality, making American shipbuilding again, improving investments in manufacturing in the United States. This battery factory, run by Hyundai as a joint venture with the other South Korean giant, LG, is certainly part of that narrative. And now, to see this operation, the biggest of its kind taken in the second Trump administration, it is so striking and has hit such an emotional chord with a multitude of people here in South Korea. Quite astounded that not just one or two or a few dozen South Koreans have been detained as part of this operation, but more than 300, a number confirmed by South Korea's Ministry of Foreign Affairs today. Along those lines, the Minister of Foreign Affairs has said that if this situation isn't resolved, he could conceivably go to Washington, D.C., saying in part, quote, "As we discuss this issue further today, we are also considering dispatching a high-level official to the U.S. to address the situation. If necessary, I," meaning the foreign minister, "am prepared to travel to Washington, D.C., personally to engage directly with U.S. officials to resolve this matter." Unclear at the moment what, if any, charges could be filed, will be filed, and how long will it take to release all 300 plus of these South Korean nationals. Again, hitting such a chord with people halfway around the world. Mike Valerio, CNN, Seoul.